But for those of you that look like you're of age, you understand what the old Carnival Barker game was. No,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Shell.
Oh.
Davis.
You know the old Carnival Barkers? And they'd have these games out there? Well, you look old enough to know, okay? Find the peanut. That's what we've been doing.
Okay.
A shell game with y'all. And yes, sir, I'm going to answer that question. It's become an adversarial situation because your manager here has lied to us customers. Okay? And we, sir, excuse me, I'm sorry. Mr. Madden, I'm looking at you, sir. It's turned adversarial. You saw an example of that right here when I simply asked a question about who was taking our photograph, and Mr. Watson refused to tell me, even though she's back there with all the private records of all the people that are on this water association at that desk and computer. She refused to tell me. And his response, as your manager here, said it's not your damn business.
Hey, ma'am, if you've got facts about your case, state them. Let's don't run down Doug Walson. Doug Walson is doing a good job. He's got the support of
No, sir,
he has got the support of the board.
I'm going to show you why.
Edwin, let her have the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have your say when she has her say. Okay.
Well, he wouldn't be here.
I don't care.
I care.
You're not going to stand there and belittle him and crucify him for the next 30 minutes.
She'll stand here and say anything under the
you're a man of
Freedom of Information Act
integrity,
she wants to say.
If you're a man of integrity, after what we went through and are going through at our home, you, sir, especially in the fields that you've been in, you would understand.
State your facts, but don't be belittling him.
I'm pointing out a fact of what just occurred here, sir. This is the attitude in an adversarial situation that he himself has put him in. We didn't want this.
Okay, let's go back.
Okay, the fact is, what we just handed you, once again, on the 26th of January, we requested Mr. Pledger, and you said on video that you, the board, would investigate the 8 questions that we presented to you. We received a letter that we've now sent back to you, those 8 questions, which is included in this packet. None of the answers that Doug Wasson provided to us answered our 8 original questions. Included in that question was a Freedom of Information Act question that we are legally entitled to know. And you, as a board, are responsible for his actions, are you not? Is he not your employee?
Yes, he is.
Thank you. That we made this request in open meeting. We do not want an adversarial situation. But for any of you that has parked, which many of you have, trust me, our attorneys and us have done our due diligence on every individual on this board. Okay? You need to understand that. We don't want to go that route. But I have had a stroke already. They think my husband's had a stroke. We're going tomorrow morning for our MRI. We can't use our facilities at our home and the water. Every time Doug and his, quote, crew come out to that white pump house, they redirect that water. Guess what? Guess what, folks? You know who's been at our house now all morning long?
Health Department.
State Board of Health.
Do you know?
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what they found?
Yeah.
Why weren't you out there, Doug? And you knew good and well on the 4th. You've told many people around this community that you knew all 14 people were walking through our yard on the 4th of January. You were up and down that road 13 times that we were counted, and you never stopped. We encouraged you to be there. We had laid our hands out. And sir, you could say to me and my husband that he's a good man. I don't know anything other than what we originally knew and now we've learned. And we've been told lies. Back to that Carnival Barker and that peanut game. That's how we've been treated as customers. That's how we've been treated as taxpayers. That's how we are now flooded again. This morning, Erdine, you called our septic clean out man, Jesse Moore, and spoke with him. He and his nephew, Ricky Lee, came and again pumped out our septic system. Why do you think that is?
They said that you needed it pumped again, that there was water coming in through the
The
lateral.
same water we've been trying to tell Doug, your manager, your employee, since 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. And there's been a series of lies all the way along. We have it documented. Okay? Now, back to this pressure test that he keeps alluding to. We now know and have learned what a true pressure test is. And this valve inspection that was done by Dennis Sternberg at our request through Doug, which interestingly, your own manager didn't place the call to Dennis Sternberg. A copy of that's in there too. We, as the customers, had to place that call. And oh my heavens, back to the carnival barker and the peanut game. He knew exactly who Doug Wasson was and couldn't take the request from us. Okay, guess what they found out there this morning?
What did they find this morning? Who found?
Craig Croder.
Okay, and he is
engineering supervisor for the health department for the entire state of Arkansas.
Okay.
He's trying to come here and be here.
Okay.
He just told us. We just left our home. There's chlorine in that ditch. And all up that $4,000 French drain that we were instructed to install. But it's overtaking our septic system again.
Okay.
We have our master plumber, Mike Arcan, come out there when Judge Norton was out there just the other day, and y'all know about it, Doug. Judge Norton let us know that he'd already talked to you about it. Am I right?
You're wrong.
No, sir. I wouldn't think a Judge Norton or Ralph Wynn would lie. That he talked to Aradine Turner, and these gentlemen have been straightforward.
Ma'am, I haven't talked to about Ralph on this matter at all.
Ralph stood in our yard and told us that he spoke to you on the 25th, the day before he went for that heart monitor. So now you're saying you never spoke to him about any of this water issue?
Not this, no.
That's
The only-
really interesting.
The only JP that I have got a phone call from was James Widener the other evening.
And you've never spoken with Ralph or the JP? They all walked our property.
No.
We've seen many of you sitting up at the
Not-
church there taking photos.
Not that I remember talking to Ralph at all.
On the 25th, he spoke with you.
Of when?
Of January, the day before this board meeting on the 26th.
No, I was on my way to Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay, all I can tell you is what the man told us.
Okay.
He also told us he's talked to you before. Anyway,
Yes, we've
back to
been
Jesse
neighbors
Moore.
since we were
Who on this
kids.
board's who you seen taking pictures? I've not been up there taking pictures.
I haven't either.
I'm not.
Who was it? I
We've
couldn't
had
think.
several people up there at that church taking photos. And we invite you, come to our
Who-
home.
who
Come to our
was it?
home.
It was us?
Yeah, well, the vehicles match. Come to our home. We'll show you. We're full disclosure. We don't want a lawsuit. But folks, we're doing our
We
due
would encourage you
diligence.
to come to our house and look for yourself.
Every time they adjust the pressure of that pump that runs up Lewis Lane or redirects that water, we're flooded out. And if we're not being flooded out, the road across the way is being flooded out. And that's what they found this morning again.
When will you have your written report from the gentleman from this morning?
Do you not have a copy of the geologist report?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But the report this morning?
From the health
Oh, he's still out
supervisor?
there.
He's out there. He's
Okay.
supposed to be coming
Okay.
to give you a report.
Okay.
And all the individuals that were out there at our home this morning, Scott Moore with the health department for Harrison. Scott is even though he's had conversations with several of you here, he is now realizing that there's a serious water problem out there. Charlie Holt was out there. He's a District 1 engineer for Arkansas Health Department. Sam Dunn was out there. He's with Ozark, Arkansas Department of Health. He's an environmental specialist and water specialist. He said he talked with you, Doug.
Who is he?
And Craig Croder, he talked to you. Is
Who?
that right?
Well, his name ain't Croder, but yes, he did talk to me. Who was-
Right there,
the one
Corder,
before?
right there.
Yeah, he
Craig Corder.
He talked to me.
Okay,
Who was the other one?
okay.
May I make
And then we
copies
also
of
spoke
those?
with Michael Sullivan. See, that's the problem, Ms. Turner. We keep doing y'all's work. And the shell game has got to end. Because see, trust me, when I tell you right here, we're a full disclosure. We did try to do this with an out an adversarial situation.
They're here now.
Okay. We want the same thing you as a board would